Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Guess Bishop Whitehead cannot keep out the news. So he's back in the news. So according to the city, it's some type of newspapers. Bishop Lamar Whitehead is accused of deed theft at a Brooklyn church. He evicted church members allegedly illegally. So the lawsuit was filed last week, in which Bishop Whitehead calls frivolous. It is the latest legal challenge facing this bishop. But YouTubers, before we move deeper into the video, let's hit all the buttons: the like, share, subscribe, also the notification bell, and if you'd like to donate $1 or $2 to the channel, please do so on the super thanks just below the video page. So let's get back into the video. So the building in question is at 5904 Foster Avenue in East Flatbush. It was the home of Glory of God Global Ministry until Bishop Whitehead evicted the church. But as of May the 1st, 2023, it's back. So the lawsuit alleges that Bishop Lamar Whitehead filed false paperwork to claim possession of a church building whose congregation he then evicted. The lawsuit was filed in the Brooklyn Supreme Court on Friday. So the property in question is alleged to be a slum building on Foster Avenue in East Flatbush, and it has served for nearly a decade as the house of worship for Glory of God Global Ministry before Whitehead changed the locks and kicked out the congregation, whose numbers were about 200 worshippers last December. But according to the lawsuit, Whitehead never owned the building, never owned the property he evicted the ministry from. So according to the lawsuit, the property was purchased by a Maryland owner whose name is Michael Moses and his sister Lydia at a tax sale auction for $1.9 million back in February 2022. The lawsuit also went on to say that after the sale went through, Bishop Whitehead contacted this brother and sister out there in Maryland, and he told them he was interested in buying the building. And in turn, they granted him permission to evict the current tenants while securing financing for the property. And they were waiting for Whitehead to come up with the financing for the property since he was interested in purchasing the property. So the lawsuit says Whitehead never got that financing. But because he didn't get the financing, the church members should not have left. They should, by all accounts, still be in that building. But the lawsuit went on to say what Whitehead subsequently did. He submitted a fraudulent new deed to the office of the city register in April that claimed that he and his church leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries in Canarsie were the rightful owners. So I'm telling you folks, this Bishop Whitehead stays in trouble, doesn't he? So as far as Moses and his sister knew, the building was never sold to Bishop Lamar Whitehead because he didn't come up with the financing. But they were not aware, however, that he allegedly filed this false deed claiming the building. So court record shows that the fraudulent deed was executed and recorded without the knowledge or consent of the plaintiff, Michael Moses, nor his sister. Now, Michael Moses is a trustee of the trust. According to the lawsuit, Moses is now seeking $3.5 million in damages from Whitehead and his church. They also want the city to void Whitehead's deed, since they never sold the building to Whitehead. I'm telling you guys, this is one big mess. Bishop Whitehead better have several lawyers to represent him well. And I guess all his money is going to go to lawyers' fees this year because he's got a number of lawsuits pending. So this particular magazine is called The City, said they reached out to Whitehead on Monday, and he said he haven't yet been served a copy of the lawsuit. So he don't know the specifics but he said the allegations are unfounded and that the lawsuit is frivolous. So the attorney for Michael and Lydia Moses did not follow up with a request for comment. So this lawsuit is just an added lawsuit onto what Bishop Whitehead is still facing. First, he is facing federal charges for allegedly swindling one of his parishioners out of her life savings, a claim that was first reported by the city. And like I said before, the city is the name of the paper or a magazine. Prosecutors also alleged that he tried to force a businessman into giving him a $500,000 loan in exchange for favorable actions from New York City's authorities that he had no ability to do. In other words, he was asking for $500,000 from this businessman, allegedly for providing business favors. So the lawsuit said he had no ability to deliver on this promise. And he also faked bank records to finance his New Jersey mansion. Now, all of this is alleged because it has not been proven in a court of law as yet. Now, Bishop Whitehead remains good friends with the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, and he has previously said that Whitehead is a very good friend of his and a good brother. And he also called himself a mentor to ministers. That's what Whitehead calls himself, a minister to ministers. But it's not without common knowledge that Whitehead had served time in jail. He was in prison for grand larceny and identity fraud. The relationship of these two men came under scrutiny after there was a robbery in Whitehead's church last July of alleged $1 million in jewelry during his sermon. So as it stands now, Whitehead as well as Moses and his sister are in limbo in court about this property in Brooklyn that he evicted the church members from. But it all will be sorted out in a court of law. So the pastor for the ministry church told his story, and he said when he arrived at the church, he found the locks had been changed, and the police told him at the scene that there was a new owner and there was nothing he can do about the congregation's possessions that were still inside the church. So then the church, that is known as the ministry, had to rent out a new church facility for several months. And so a lot of their activities they had to stop doing, including serving 200 families through their weekly food pantry, in which they did on Saturdays, serving about 200 families. So the minister said it was a lot for the members. It was very devastating. So last December, Glory of God Global Ministry sued Whitehead, arguing he had illegally evicted them. And civil court judge Sandra Roper sided in the ministry's favor, issuing an order restoring the building to its possession on January the 25th. Williams said when they finally got back inside the building in April, the damage was immense. So the church sued Bishop Whitehead again for $5 million in damages last week, AM New York reported. But despite the damages, Glory of God Global Ministry started worshiping again on Foster Avenue last month and reopened its food pantry. Williams told the city newspapers. He said, everybody's happy. They are praying. It has been tough. The claim that Bishop Whitehead may not be the owner of the building in the first place came as another surprise for Pastor Williams. He said, it's a big shock, but I leave everything in the hands of God. So the city scoop reporting followed up with a call to Bishop Whitehead, and they asked him about the congregation's eviction from Foster Avenue. And Bishop Whitehead defended his tactics of forcefully removing them. He said it's not over. They are illegally occupying the building, and when we go back to court, they will be removed, before he hung up. So YouTubers, drop your comments. Let me know what you think about this reporting about Bishop Whitehead in trouble again for something totally different, for this illegal eviction, and he claimed this building that allegedly is not his. Anyway, guys, drop your comments in the comment section. Weigh in on this video. Tell me what you think and feel. I'm over and out. Don't forget to hit all the buttons before leaving the page. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching.